Hello, Mr. Price here, and this is your video on the Unit 5 homework on brackets. We're going to go straight into the first one. So, that's my example. Let's have a look at this one here. So I have 4 and 3a minus 4 in brackets. So this means I want 4 lots of everything inside this bracket. So, 4 lots of 3a is 12a. And 4 lots of negative 4 is negative 16. Okay, so that's all I've done there. Equals. So this is the same as this. Okay, part B. 5b lots of 2b plus 7. Okay, so 5b plus 5b times 2b is 10b squared. Okay, so for this one, 5 lots of 2 is 10, b times b is b squared. So just watch out, that's the common mistake that some people make. Okay, and then 5b lots of 7 is positive 35b. So you're multiplying 5b by 7. And you can split it up into 7 times 5 times b, which is 35b. Okay, next question. We have 3a squared b, lots of 10a minus 3b. Okay, this is where it starts to get a little bit more complicated. I'm going to go through this one a little bit slower. So, here, for this one, I want to multiply 3 by a squared by b multiplied by 10 by a. Okay, normally I wouldn't get you to write this step, but I'm going through this one a little bit slower. Okay, because this bit here means 3 times a squared times b, and I'm multiplying that by 10 times a. I've written it like this. Now I know 3 times 10 is 30. I know a squared times a is a cubed, or a to the power of 3. And then I just need to multiply it by b, and there's nothing for that to combine with. Okay, and I want to multiply it by negative 3b, so once again, 3 times a squared times b, that's the front bit, multiplied by negative 3 times b. So 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. A squared times, no more a's, so it's just going to stay as a squared. So I'm still multiplying by a squared. And then b times b is b squared. And that's my... Okay. Last two for the single brackets. I'm going to do this one a little bit quicker this time. So half a b squared c, lots of 2a plus 3b. Half a b squared c, lots of 2a, well half of 2 is 1. A times a is a squared, and I've still got to multiply the b squared and the c together. And I want to now multiply it by 3b, so half of 3 is positive 1.5. Multiplied by a, b squared times b is b cubed, and c multiplied by, no more c's, will just stay as it is. Finally, question E, I have 2a, 4a minus 5, take away 3a, lots of 7a minus 15. Okay, so this one I'm going to write underneath. Okay, just so you can see that I'm going to end up with two bits here. One for the first bracket and then one for the second bracket. So 2a lots of 4a is 8a squared. 2a lots of negative 5 is negative 10a. And then negative 3a lots of 7a is negative 21a squared. and 3a, lots of negative 15, is positive 45. Okay, because negative 3a, 45a, sorry, beg your pardon. Because negative 3a multiplied by negative 15 will give you positive 45a. Okay, and if you want to, you can write that a bit more carefully up here now. So 8a squared minus 10a minus 21a squared plus 45a. Okay, and that's the first set of questions done. Okay, for the next bit, we want to factorise. So for the first one, 9a plus 18. So I want a number that goes into both 9 and 18. I want the highest one, and you'll probably spot fairly quickly you have 9. If you chose 3, make sure you look for the highest one. So 9 goes outside the bracket because that is the highest common factor of 9 and 18. And I want to multiply 9 by something to get 9a. So I just want to multiply that by a. And I want to multiply 9 by positive 2 to get positive 18. Question 2. 27b minus 81. Okay, so once again, you should spot that 9 goes into both these numbers. A quick way you can spot factors is, well, especially the more difficult ones to notice, such as 9 and 3. If you add up the digits, if those numbers are divisible by 3 or 9, then it's also divisible by 3 or 9. So 7 and 2 makes 9, 8 and 1 makes 9. These are both divisible by 9. Put in your empty brackets. 9 times what gives us 27b? Well, 9 times 3b gives us 27b. And then 9 times what gives us negative 81? Negative 9. 9 times negative 9 gives you negative 81. Okay, C. Okay, for 28a squared plus 44a. Okay, I notice here I've got common factors of in the letters and the numbers. Now for 28 and 44, I'm just going to guess 4 for now, because I've noticed that 4 does go into both of those. But I've also noticed that I've got an a in both, which is the smallest power of a. So I'm going to bring a outside as well. Put in my empty brackets. So 4 times what gives us 28? 7. A times what gives us a squared? A. 4 times what gives us 44? Positive 11. A times what gives us a? We've already got it there, so no worries. If I look inside the bracket, I've got no more common factors, as I've got 2 prime numbers in there, so that is that question done. Okay, the final one for factorising single brackets, we have 48a cubed b minus 60ab squared. Okay, for this one, this is where it helps to know your times tables a little bit. And I'm spotting 6 in here. Now for the letters, I have an a in both. I'm going to use the smallest power of a, which is a to the power of 1. And I've got a b in both, and b is my smallest power, so b goes outside as well. Empty brackets. So 6 times what gives us 48. And that will give us 8. A times what gives us a cubed? A to the power of 2, because a multiplied by a 2 more times will be a to the power of 3. And then b times what gives us b, we already have it, so no worries there. 6 times what gives us negative 60? That will give us negative 10. And 6 times what gives us a? A times what gives us a, we already have it. B times what gives us b squared? B. Now, if I look inside my brackets here, I've still got a common power in here, a common factor. See, I've got a 2 that can still go into both of these. So I've made a mistake there. So all I'm going to have to do now is just redo it again very quickly. But this time, because 2 can come outside, my answer is double what it needs to be. So that needs to be a 12 AB. Okay. And then 12 into 48 is 4, and we already know that my letters were fine. And then 12 times what gives us negative 60? 5. Okay, so always check inside your bracket, doesn't factorise any further. Okay, and finally the last question. We want to expand a plus 4, b minus 5. So a times b is ab, a times negative 5 is negative 5a, 4 times b is positive 4b, 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. And that's that question done. The next one, 2a minus 3, lots of a plus 4. Okay, so 2a times a is 2a squared. Don't be tempted to put 3a, you're multiplying 2a by a, so 2 times 1 is 2, a times a is a squared. 2a times positive 4 is positive 8a. Negative 3 times a is negative 3a, and negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. This bit here simplifies, so I've got 2a squared. 8a take away 3a is 5a, positive 5a, take away 12. Okay. Last question for this bit, I have a plus 4 squared. So this is equivalent to a plus 4 multiplied by itself, a plus 4. Okay, so now I can just expand this. A times a is a squared. A times 4 is 4a. 4 times a is 4a. 4 times 4 is 16. And now this bit here simplifies. 4a plus 4a is 8a. A squared has nothing to simplify with, there's no more a squareds here, plus 16. Okay, and finally the extension question. 2a something plus 6 something will give us 10a squared plus something plus 18. Now if you look at all of our previous examples for doing the expanding double brackets, okay, this final number here, negative 20, negative 12 and plus 16, was all found when you multiplied the last number by the last number here. So negative 3 times 4 gave you negative 12, 4 times negative 5 gives you negative 20. So here, I want to multiply 6 by something to get positive 18. So that has to be plus 3. Okay, because 3 times 6 gives you 18. Okay, I now want to multiply 2a by something to get 10a squared, because if you look, that first bit there was found when you multiplied the first in the first bracket by the first in the second bracket. A times b is ab, 2a times a is 2a squared. So here, I'm going to get this one by multiplying by 2a by something to get 10a squared. Well, 2 times what gives us 10? 5. A times what gives us a squared? A. Now that I've got those missing numbers, I can just expand as usual. So, 2a times 5a is 10a squared. 2a times 6 is positive 12a. 3 times 5a is positive 15a. And 3 times 6 is 18. So now just combine those bits up to get the missing number in the box. 12a plus 15a is going to give us 27a. And that is job done for this homework. Well done if you tried all of those, and I shall see you in class.